Welcome to Vienna Tysons TV, a program by the Vienna Tysons Regional Chamber of Commerce, your link to opportunity.
Welcome to Vienna Tysons TV. My name is Leha Anderson. Our first guest in studio today is Amanda Andere, Executive Director of FACETS. Tell me, what is FACETS?
Sure. FACETS opens doors for parents, their children, and individuals who suffer the effects of poverty. So we are a community-based organization that works with people to meet their emergency needs, whether that be food, shelter, medical, dental, then really help them to gain safe, sustainable, and affordable housing, and then really work with them long-term to break the cycle of poverty and homelessness through educational life skills and career counseling programs.
Okay, and what community do you serve?
We serve all of Fairfax County. We were started actually by our founder who saw a need to provide meals to people who were homeless in the city of Fairfax out of her basement. We've since grown from that program. We're not in her basement anymore. We have an office in the city of Fairfax. We serve all of Fairfax County. But the great thing is that Hot Meals program still continues today, along with many other services that we provide to meet people in their immediate needs and then their long-term needs.
And how many people do you serve a year?
We serve about 3,000 people each year through our services, and we actually have over 3,000 volunteers that touch our program. So I like to say we have a volunteer for each person in need that we touch. So we have a pretty broad community support that helps us really accomplish our mission and our vision every day.
That is excellent to have that kind of volunteer support. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, where does your funding come from?
We have a mix of funding. We get some funding from Fairfax County and the federal government to provide housing services, support for those who are homeless, support for the work that we do in 3 affordable housing communities. But that's only about 40% of our funding. The rest comes from private foundations and individuals and faith communities and businesses. Okay. So a diverse amount of support to support a diverse amount of needs in our community.
What are the biggest challenges that you're facing, your organization is facing right now?
Sure. So one of the biggest challenges that I face and many organizations that do our work face is this people understanding that there's a need in Fairfax County. I just came from a meeting where Chairman Bulova, the Fairfax Board of Supervisors, was talking to the business leaders and saying that since 2010, poverty in Fairfax County has increased 33%. Wow. There are about 60,000 people who live in poverty in Fairfax County, and actually Fairfax County has the most people who live in poverty in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we think of Fairfax County as this affluent area, and it is. So the need is often hidden, and so people don't understand that there's people in need right in their backyard. Yeah. So just getting that message out there that people who are working every day are struggling to make ends meet, that there are people who are homeless who are living in the woods, but they sometimes are working because there's a lack of affordable housing. The person who checks us out of the grocery store might have to live far away, or they try to live close to where they work, and they can't just make ends meet because there's not enough affordable housing for that level of income.
Now, I've heard some interchangeable terms: affordable housing, workforce housing, low-income housing. Right. Are they the same?
I think they're the same. They're all providing housing, meeting the needs of where people are in terms of their income. Sometimes we think of workforce housing as those workforces that we really value being in the community, but I think if we thought about it, we value all people at all income levels in our community, because that's what helps the business community to have workers who can live where they work. I often think of affordable housing as a transportation issue. If we could cut down on the amount of people commuting from far away, we would solve some of our transportation headaches.
Right, yeah.
And so affordable housing, workforce housing, there's a lot of terms that define it, but it's all providing housing that is affordable to many people who are working.
Where is there affordable housing in Fairfax County?
There's affordable housing all over in Fairfax County in places that you would not think of. We work in 3 affordable housing communities that provides housing to people who are working, but their average income is between $18,000 and $20,000 a year. One of the communities is right across from George Mason. It's by single-family homes and townhouses. It's a lovely community. We run the community center there and provide the means and the access for folks to move out of supported housing by supporting education and career counseling. So the philosophy in Fairfax County is that we want affordable housing to be integrated into the community, and it's really all over and in places that people wouldn't normally think of.
Affordable housing obviously is not a FACETS issue.
Right.
It's a community issue.
Absolutely.
So what are we doing as a community?
Well, you're right. It's not a FACETS issue, though FACETS has been very involved in a couple of efforts to address affordable housing. We were one of the organizations that worked with government, business, other nonprofits, and faith communities to develop a 10-year plan to prevent and end homelessness in our county. We're hoping to end homelessness as we know it by 2018, and a critical component of that plan is affordable housing. There was actually a whole blueprint that leaders from different communities got together and said, this is the amount of housing that we need to solve this issue. And so we're working with different partners to make sure that there's the housing needed for those who are at a really low income but are still contributing to our economy. So we work with the Northern Virginia Affordable Housing Alliance, which is another great nonprofit. We work with other nonprofits to really get the word out about the needs. We don't think that government can solve all the problems, so we work with private institutions to see how we can develop more affordable housing and also get businesses engaged in supporting their own employees in finding affordable housing.
If you were to look at a report card of how we're doing in terms of our goal towards ending homelessness, what do you think we would rate in Fairfax County right now?
I think we would rate in terms of the services very well. There was just a report that actually came out that compares. We've reduced homelessness from the first year we started capturing information by about 15%. So that's great that we've reduced homelessness in our community. But those folks there's still such a big gap in the affordable housing we know we need to meet the people who are suffering the most, those who are chronically homeless, who are living in the woods, or those who might be housed now, but if they get that one tragic incident, will need somewhere to go. So I think on services, on getting people housed pretty quickly, we're doing well. On the long-term goal of getting the real affordable housing we need, I think that we still need to study more and do our homework so we can get our grade up. And get out there and do the things that we know we need to do, and working with the business community to understand the needs of affordable housing.
What can the business community do?
Well, they can partner with local nonprofits like FACETS. They can get involved with the 10-year plan to prevent and end homelessness. They can do big things, like talking to their employees, but they can also do small things like volunteering. There's several housing units that we provide to people who are formerly homeless that need people to help move in furniture or help set up their living space, and so getting their employees engaged could help understand the problem. So that volunteering, giving, understanding the issue and how they can get involved. Of course, financial resources help, not just for FACETS, but for other organizations. But it's really having that conversation about what are the needs. And
I imagine those are similar things that individuals can do.
Absolutely.
Get involved, learn about the topic.
Absolutely. The great thing about a lot of nonprofits in this area is they have a great mix of people who are getting involved, and individuals not connected with a faith community but connected with a business community can volunteer, can give, and can come and learn and talk to the people who are their neighbors in need.
Have you come across any issues with the community not being accepting of affordable housing in certain areas?
I think that always happens, the idea of not in my backyard or NIMBYism. Actually today I heard someone said we need to change that to needs in my backyard, and really start to think about not that we don't want it there, needs in my backyard and how we can meet those needs. I think people have this perception of what affordable housing brings, but when they sit and think about, oh, that's the person that I drop off my child at daycare, is the person living in that affordable housing. So I entrust them to take care of my kids. Why wouldn't I want them living next door to me? Yeah. Even some of our folks who are chronically homeless, who might have mental health issues, they served in our military, and so you would want a vet next door to you and supporting them. So once we have that conversation, once people meet people who are in need, they understand that they're just like them. They get up and go to work every day, and they want them in their community.
How does this issue impact students and children in the school systems?
That's such a great question, because the growing number of people who are homeless or in poverty are children. And actually the kindergarten class entering Fairfax County, 13,000 kindergartners, has the highest percentage of poverty than ever before. And so we don't think about that, and we don't think about the children, but it impacts them. If you don't have a place to live, how can you get your homework done? I was talking to a mother who was one of our clients, who was living out of her car, and until she got connected with Facets, she was trying to hold her family together, and they would shower in the Burger King and do homework in their car, and she saw her straight A students slip to D and F students because they didn't have a place to live. Sure. Once they got back into housing, they got their grades back up. The oldest son graduated from college and graduated from high school, is going on to college. So it has a tremendous impact immediately, but such a big difference once we can get folks into housing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that number of children who are considered homeless or not living in any permanent home is increasing in Fairfax County and in the neighboring counties as well.
It is increasing, and we're seeing that there's also a lot of youth who, for whatever reason, don't have a parent or in that middle school, high school range, who are homeless and who need folks to stay with, mentors to help them, and just some good guidance so they can get back on track.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned 3,000 volunteers. What are they doing? And how, if I wanted to be the 3,001st volunteer that you have, how would I get involved?
Well, we would love to have you and others, and you could get involved by volunteering to mentor in one of our neighborhoods, volunteering to serve a meal with one of our hot meals teams. We have needs for people to work at our front desk and greet the people who are coming to our office. We have needs for people to do one-time cleaning of our apartments, helping to make bag meals, or helping to put together supplies for the kids in our programs. So many different needs, long-term and one-time, for groups to get involved. We always need people to do food drives for us and help to sort our pantry so we can serve people better.
Okay, and how do I go about volunteering?
Sure, so you can look up at our website, which is facetscares.org, and there's a volunteer button on our website to get involved, or you can email volunteer@facetscares.org.
And what sorts of donations do you accept?
We accept, of course, financial donations. We always need more resources to help to continue our work for opening doors for people in need. But we also accept what we call gift in kind donations. So that could be toiletries, or baby food, or diapers, or household needs for people moving into housing. We often need snacks for our after-school program, all different types of things. We have a whole list on our website at the donate button at facetscares.org that lists our ongoing needs that changes, even on a monthly basis.
Okay. This has been really interesting. I'm so glad I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with you. Thank you, Amanda, for being with us today.
Thank you so much.